Hello friends, welcome to English Minds. Today we will discussing on William Wordsworth, Tintern Abbey. Full title: Lines written in a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the banks of the Wye River. Wye during a tour, July 1798. 5 years have passed, 5 summers with the length of 5 long winters, and again I hear these waters rolling from dear mountain springs with a sweet inland murmur. कवि कहते हैं कि 5 साल बीत चुके हैं जिनमें 5 गर्मियां और 5 लंबी सर्दियों के दिन शामिल हैं। अब वे फिर से इस स्थान पर वापस आए हैं और पहाड़ों से बहने वाले इन झरनों की मीठी और शांत ध्वनि सुन रहे हैं। Once again do I behold these steep and lofty cliffs which on a wide circled scene impress thoughts of more deep seclusion and connect the landscape with the quiet of the sky। कवि इन ऊंची और खड़ी चट्टानों की ओर फिर से देख रहे हैं। ये चट्टानें इस समय शांत और एकांत स्थान का प्रतीक हैं और आसमान की शांति के साथ दृश्य को जोड़ती हैं। The day is come when I the day is come when I again repose here under this dark sycamore and view these plots of cottage ground, these orchard crops, which at this season, with their unripe fruits, are clad in one green hue, and lose themselves mid groves and copses. Once I, once again, I see these hedgerows, hardly hedgerows, little lines of supportive wood run wide. These pastoral forms, green to the very door, and wreaths of smoke sent up in silence from among the trees with some uncertain notice, as might seem, of vagrant dwellers in the houseless woods। कवि उस दिन की व्याख्या कर रहे हैं कि जब वे एक बार फिर सिकामोर जो गहरा पेड़ है के नीचे विश्राम कर रहे हैं, वे कुटिया वाले छोटे खेतों और बगीचों को देख रहे हैं जो अधपके फलों के कारण एक हरे रंग की चादर से ढके हुए हैं। खेतों, पेड़ों और झाड़ियों से उठता धुआं और जंगली प्रकृति कवि के मन में गहरे प्रभाव छोड़ती है। Though absent long, these forms of beauty have not been to me as is a landscape to a blind man's eye, but oft in lonely rooms and amid the of towns and cities I have owned to them in hours of weariness, sensations sweet। कवि बताते हैं कि हालांकि वे इतने लंबे समय तक इस स्थान से दूर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसका सौंदर्य उनके लिए अंधे आदमी के लिए किसी दृश्य जैसा नहीं था। यह दृश्य उनकी थकान भरी जिंदगी से में सुकून और मिठास लाने का काम करता रहा है। Felt in blood and felt along the heart, and passing even into my purer mind with tranquil restoration, feeling too of remembered pleasure, such perhaps as have no slight on trivial influence on that best portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love। कवि प्रकृति के इस अनुभव को महसूस करते हैं जो उनके रक्त और हृदय से जुड़ा हुआ है। यह उनके विचारों को शुद्ध करता है और उनकी आत्मा को सुकून देता है। यह अनुभव उन छोटे-छोटे अनाम कृत्यों की याद दिलाता है जो एक अच्छे व्यक्ति के जीवन को समृद्ध करते हैं। Nor less I trust nor less I trust to them I may have owned another gift of aspects more sublime, that blessed mood in which the burden of my thy misery, in which the heavy and weary weight of all unintangible world in is lightened. कवि प्रकृति के अनुभव को एक और वरदान के रूप में देखते हैं जो एक अद्भुत स्थिति प्रदान करता है। इस स्थिति में दुनिया की जटिलताओं और बोझिल रहस्यों का हल्का भार हल्का हो जाता है। That serene and blessed mood in which the affections gently lead us on until the breath of this corporeal frame and even the motion of our human blood almost suspended, we are laid asleep in body and become a living soul, while with an eye made white by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. कवि बताते हैं कि प्रकृति का यह अनुभव एक शांतिपूर्ण और पवित्र अवस्था लाता है। इसमें शरीर और मन लगभग स्थिर हो जाते हैं और हम अपनी आत्मा के साथ गहराई से जुड़ जाते हैं। इस अवस्था में हम चीजों के अस्तित्व के सार को देख सकते हैं। If this be but a vain belief, yet oh how oft in darkness and amid the many shapes of joyless daylight, when the fretful stir unprofitable and the fever of the world have hung upon the beating of my heart, how oft in spirit have I turned to thee, O Sylvan Wye, thou wanderer through the woods, how often has my spirit tuned to thee. कवि कहते हैं कि भले ही यह विश्वास झूठा हो, लेकिन कठिन और नीरस समय में जब दुनिया का शोर और तनाव उन पर हावी होता है, वे अक्सर अपनी आत्मा में इस शांतिपूर्ण नदी की ओर लौटते हैं। And now, and now, with gleams of half extinguished thought, with many recognition, dim and faint, and somewhat of a sad perplexity, the picture of the mind revives again, while here I stand not only with the sense of present pleasure, but with pleasing thoughts, that in this moment there is life and food for future years. कवि इस स्थान पर खड़े होकर अपनी स्मृतियों को पुनर्जीवित करते हैं। वे इस पल का आनंद लेते हुए भविष्य के लिए सुखद और प्रेरणादायक विचारों का खजाना जमा कर रहे हैं। And so I dare to hope. Too changed, no doubt, from what I was when first I came among these hills, when like a rope, I bounded over the mountains by the sides of the deep rivers and the lonely streams, wherever nature led more like a man flying from something that he dreads that one who sought the thing he loved for nature, then the coarser pleasure of my boy's days and their glad animal movement all gone by. Two men was all in all. I cannot paint what then I was. That sounding cataract haunted me like a passion. The tall rock, the mountain, and the deep and gloomy wood, their colors and their forms, were then to me an appetite, a feeling and a love that had no need of a remoter charm by thought supplied nor any interest unborrowed for from the eye. कवि याद करते हैं कि जब वे पहली बार यहाँ आए थे तो वे प्रकृति के दृश्यों और से गहरे प्रभावित थे। उनके भीतर बचपन का आनंद और जोश भरा हुआ था। प्रकृति उनके लिए एक उत्सुकता और प्रेम की वस्तु थी। उनमें किसी चीज की आवश्यकता नहीं थी। That time is past, and all its aching joys are now no more, and all its busy raptures not for this faint eye, nor mourn, nor murmur. Other gifts have followed for such loss. I would believe abundant recompense, for I have learned to look on nature not as in the hour of thoughtfulness, youth, but hurting, but hearing oftentimes the still sad music of humanity, nor harsh nor grating thought of or ample power, the to chasten and subdue, and I have it. A presence that disturbed me with the joy or elevated thought, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, whose dwelling in the light of setting sun, and the round ocean, and the living air, and the blue sky, and in the mind of man. कवि स्वीकार करते हैं कि उनका बचपन का यह दृष्टिकोण बदल गया है, लेकिन उनका इसका उन्हें कोई अफसोस नहीं है। उन्होंने जीवन के और प्रकृति को गहरे और परिपक्व दृष्टिकोण से देखना सीख लिया है। यह दृष्टिकोण उन्हें जीवन की गंभीरता और सुंदरता दोनों का एहसास कराता है। Not perchance, if I were not thus thought, should I the more suffer my genial spirit to decay? For thou art with me here upon the banks of this fair river, thou my dearest friend, my dear dear friend. वर्ड कहते हैं कि यदि प्रकृति ने मुझे ऐसा सिखाया न होता तो शायद मेरा उत्साह और खुशियां कम हो जाती, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है क्योंकि इस नदी के किनारे मेरी बहन डोरोथी मेरे साथ है और उसे मेरी प्रिय मित्र कहते हैं और यह दिखाते हैं कि उनके बीच कितना गहरा इमोशनल जुड़ाव है। एंड इन दाई वॉइस आई कैच द लैंग्वेज ऑफ माई फॉर्मर हर्ट एंड एंड रेड माई फॉर्मर प्लीजर एंड इन सूथिंग लाइट्स of my wide eyes, oh, yet I little while may I behold in thee what I was once. डोरोथी की आंखों में आवाज में कभी अपनी यंग एज की खुशी और अपने पुराने अनुभवों की झलक पाते हैं। वह उम्मीद करते हैं कि थोड़ी देर वह डोरोथी में अपने युवा रूप को देख सकते हैं। My dear dear sister, and this prayer I make, knowing that nature never did betray the heart that loved her, this her privilege. Through all the years of this our life, to lead from joy to joy. वह डोरोथी के लिए प्रार्थना करते हैं कि और विश्वास व्यक्त करते हैं कि जिसने भी प्रकृति से प्रेम किया है, प्रकृति ने उसे धोखा नहीं दी है। जीवन भर प्रकृति उन्हें एक खुशी से दूसरी खुशी की ओर ले जाती है। For she can so inform the mind that is within us, so impressed with quietness and beauty, and so filled with lofty thoughts that neither evil tongues, rash judgments, nor the sneer of selfish man. प्रकृति हमारे मन को शांत और सुंदर बनाती है। यह ऊंचे विचारों से हमें पोषित करती है, जिससे बुरे लोग, गलत फैसले या स्वार्थी लोगों की आलोचनाएं हमें प्रभावित नहीं कर सकती हैं। Nor greetings, where no kindness is, nor all the dreary intercourse of daily life shall ever prevail against us or disturb our cheerful faith that all which we behold is full of blessings. Therefore, let the moon shine on thee in thy solitary work. दैनिक जीवन की थकाऊ बातचीत और बिना सच्चाई के किए गए अभिवादन भी हमें प्रभावित नहीं कर सकते। कवि को विश्वास है कि जो कुछ भी हम देखते हैं वह आशीर्वाद से भरा है। वह प्रार्थना करते हैं कि डोरोथी को उसके अकेलेपन में चंद्रमा की रोशनी मिले। एंड लेट The misty mountain winds be free to blow against thee. In after years, when these wide scarcities shall be matured in a sober pleasure, when thy mind shall be a mansion for all lovely forms, thy memory be as a dwelling place. वह प्रार्थना करते हैं कि पहाड़ी हवा डोरथी को शांति दे। वह उम्मीद करते हैं कि आने वाले वर्षों में उनकी वर्तमान खुशी एक स्थिर सुख में बदल जाएगी और उनका मन सुंदर रूपों का एक महल बन जाएगा। For all sweet sound and harmonies, O then, if solitude or fear or pain or grief should be thy portion, with what healing thoughts of tender joys wilt thou remember me? And these my exhortation, no perchance, if I should be where I no more can hear. वह डोरोथी से कहते हैं कि यदि भविष्य में वह अकेलापन, डर या दुख महसूस करे, तो वह इन यादों और कवि की सीखों को याद करके सांत्वना पा सके। The voice nor catch from thy wide eyes these gleams of past existence, which thou then forget, that on the banks of this delightful stream we stood together, and that I so long, a worshipper of nature, hither came, unwearied in that service. कवि प्रार्थना करते हैं कि यदि भविष्य में वह ना जीवित रहे, तभी भी डोरोथी इस नदी के किनारे बिताए पलों को याद रखे। कवि कहते हैं कि उन्होंने हमेशा उसका प्रकृति की पूजा की है और उसका प्रेम कभी समाप्त नहीं हुआ है। Rather says with warmer love, oh, with for deeper zeal, oh holier love, not wilt thou then forget, then after many wanderings, many years of absence, these steep woods and lofty cliffs and this green pastoral landscape were to me. कवि डोरिथी से आग्रह करते हैं कि वह इस परिदृश्य को याद रखें जिससे उन्हें वर्षों बाद भी गहरा प्रेम और पवित्र उत्साह दिया है। यह जगह उनके लिए हमेशा विशेष रही है। मोर डियर बोथ फॉर themselves एंड फॉर thy sake। कवि कहते हैं कि यह जगह न केवल अपनी सुंदरता के लिए बल्कि डोरोथी के साथ बिताए पलों के कारण भी उन्हें बेहद प्रिय है। इस कविता में वर्ड्सवर्थ प्रकृति के प्रति अपना प्रेम और उसकी आध्यात्मिक शक्ति को व्यक्त करते हैं उन्होंने डोरोथी के लिए प्रार्थना की कि वह कभी भी प्रकृति से वही शांति और प्रेरणा पाए जो उसे। Now practice time. I hope you are a serious applicant. Please ensure you have a pen and paper ready to take notes or complete your assessment accurately. Question number first. What is the central theme of Tintern Abbey? Option B, nature and memory. Tintirn Abbey explores how nature shapes memory and the poet's reflections over time. In Tintirn Abbey, Wordsworth reflects on the power of option B, memory. The poem emphasizes the role of memory in shaping the poet's spiritual and emotional life. The theme of the passage of the of time in Tintirn Abbey is mainly about option C, the change in spiritual perception. The phrase refers to the deeper transcendent connection the poet feels with nature. What does Wordsworth mean by a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused in Tintin Abbey. Option A, spiritual enlightenment. The phrase refers to the deeper transcendent connection the poets feel with nature, which theme is explored through the poet's return to the landscape of Tintin Abbey after 5 years. Option A, nature's healing power. The poet finds solace in nature after returning to the landscape after 5 years. What role does nature play in Tintern Abbey? Option A. It is a source of solace and a spiritual renewal. Nature serves as a refuge that nurtures the poet's spirit and mind. How does Wordsworth contrast childhood and adulthood in Tintin Abbey? Option C. Childhood is connected with spiritual awareness, adulthood with materialism. The contrast highlights the purity and spiritual connection in childhood versus the rationalism and detachment in adulthood. In the poem, Wordsworth expresses our belief in the power of option B, intuition and feeling. Wordsworth values intuitive and emotional responses over rational thought. What is the significance of the phrase sublime in Tintin Abbey? Option B, something awe inspiring that transcends ordinary experience. Sublime describe an elevated emotional and spiritual experience often triggered by nature. What does Wordsworth mean by the best portion of a good man's life in the poem? Option B, his youthful memories and experience with nature. Option B, the line refers to the cherished memories of youthful experiences in nature. Which literary device is primarily used in the line that tranquil restoration? Option D, alliteration. Tranquil restoration involves the repetition of consonant R, a feature of alliteration. What is the figure of speech in the line, the sensation of nature's grandeur? Option D, metaphor. The sensation of nature's grandeur metaphorically refers to the overwhelming beauty and power of nature. Which of the following is an example of personification in Tintin Abbey? Option A. The mountain kiss high heaven. The line personifies nature giving human like qualities to the mountains. The poem's use of nature as a metaphor for spiritual healing is an example of
Symbolism. Option A. Nature is as a metaphor for the spiritual. Healing suggests a deeper symbolic meaning in the poem. In the Tintin Abbey, Wordsworth compared his emotional response to nature to a mother's nursing touch, a mother's nurturing touch. Wordsworth compared his emotional connection to nature to a nurturing, comforting mother. The repetition of certain phrases in Tintin Abbey, such as 5 years have passed, exemplify which device? Option B. Refrain. The repetition of phrases like 5 years have passed highlights the refrain of the poem. In Tintin Abbey, the use of sublime is an example of option C. Symbolism. The use of sublime is symbolic of the awe and majesty that nature inspired the poet. What is the role of imagery in Tintin Abbey? It helps to convey the emotional intensity of the speaker's experience. Imagery paints vivid pictures of nature, enhancing the poem's emotional impact. Which of the following is an example of a metaphor in the poem? The landscape with the quiet of the sky. Option A. This is a metaphor comparing the stillness of the landscape to the tranquility of the sky. What role does apostrophe play in the Tintin Abbey? Option A. Direct address to nature as a source of healing. Apostrophe is used as a direct address to nature, treating it as a healing and spiritual force. The line for I have learned to look on nature not as in the hour of thoughtless youth, but hearing oftentimes the still sad music of humanity refers to option C. The growth of human wisdom through experience. The line reflects how the poet has grown in wisdom and understanding as he matures. Which of the following lines represents the theme of memory in Tintin Abbey? Option C. I have learned to look on nature. This line embodies the theme of memory and personal development over time. In the line that in this moment there is life and food for future years, what idea is Wordsworth expressing? Nature's role and in sustaining human life. Option A. Wordsworth is expressing how nature continues to nourish and sustain him spirituality. The phrase the still sad music of humanity refers to the melancholic aspect of human existence. Option A. The phrase refers to the sadness and contemplation inherent in human life. What does the line, the mighty world of eye and ear, symbolize? The sensory experience of nature. Option A. Which line reflects the idea of a spiritual renewal in Tintin Abbey? Option B. The solitude of nature. This line refers to the restorative power that solitude in nature provides to the poet's soul. The line with tranquil restoration refers to which concept in the poem? The healing of the spirit through connection with nature. Option B. This line reflects how the poet now sees nature with a mature, reflective mind. What is the line? I have learned to look on nature not as in the awe of thoughtless youth convey. The poet's deeper understanding of nature. Option B. This line reflects how the poet now sees nature with a mature, reflective mind. In the Tintin Abbey, a light that never was on sea or land refers to option A, the idealized vision of nature. These, this refers to an ideal, almost unattainable view of nature that the poet holds dear. Which of the following best represents the role of memory in the poem? It is a source of solace and spiritual connection. Option B. Memory is a source of emotional and spiritual strength, providing the poet with comfort. What is the rhyme scheme of Tintin Abbey? A, B, B. Option B. Tintin Abbey followed a rhyming pattern where pairs of lines rhyme, typical of blank verse. Tintin Abbey is written in which poetic form? Option A, blank verse. The poem is composed in unrhymed iambic pentameter, which is characteristic of blank verse. How is the structure of Tintin Abbey divided into two main sections? The poem is divided into two sections. The first about the poet's past and present, and the second about the future. Which of the following best describes the tone of Tintin Abbey? Melancholic and reflective. Option B. The poem's tone is reflective as the poet contemplates time, memory, and nature. How does the shift in tone occur in the poem? Option A, from youthful joy to reflective calm. Which of the following best describe the length of the poem? Option A, a brief lyric poem. Sorry, option B. Tintin Abbey is a lyric poem offering personal reflection on nature and the passage of time. Tintin Abbey was written in which year? Option A, 1798. The poem was written in 1798 as part of Wordsworth's early romantic works. The poem is part of Wordsworth each. Option A, lyrical ballads. Tintern Abbey was first published in Lyrical Ballads, a collection co-written with Samuel Taylor Coleridge. What is the influence of the French Revolution on Tintin Abbey? Option B. It provides a background for Wordsworth's political thoughts. While not directly referenced, the political turbulence of the French Revolution influenced Wordsworth's thought on nature and humanity. The poem is a reflection on Wordsworth's. Option B, personal relationship with his sister Dorothy. The poem reflects Wordsworth's deep bond with his sister Dorothy, who was with him during his visit to Tintin Abbey. Who is the Dorothy mentioned in the poem? Option B, his sister. Dorothy Wordsworth, the poet's sister, is mentioned in the poem as a companion to the poet's experiences. In the poem, Wordsworth speaks of a tranquil restoration. This refers to option B, the emotional healing from the past. The tranquil restoration refers to the peaceful and emotional healing that the poet experienced in nature. The phrase that best portion of a good man's life refers to option A, his childhood. The best portion of a good man's life refers to the purity and joy of childhood. Wordsworth's philosophical viewpoint in Tintin Abbey can be described as option C, idealistic and pathetic. Wordsworth's philosophy is idealistic, seeing nature as a divine presence, and pantheistic, seeing the divine in all of nature. The phrase the still sad music of humanity evokes option C, the melancholy of human suffering. The still sad music of humanity alludes to the inevitable suffering in human existence. Wordsworth's perspective on nature in Tintin Abbey is option A, romantic and idealized. Wordsworth's perspective on nature is romantic, celebrating its beauty and emotional power. What does Tintin Abbey suggest about the relationship between human and nature? Option B, nature is a source of comfort and spiritual strength for humans. In the poem, nature is shown as a nurturing and comforting force for the poet. The reference to the mighty world of eye and ear refers to the poet's sensory experience of nature. Option A. The mighty world of eye and ear refers to how nature engaged the poet's senses. The poem's final lines focus on option B, the memory of youth and nature's enduring influence. The final lines reflects on the enduring influence of nature and the poet's memories of youth. Which of the following best describe the emotional journey of the poet in Tintin Abbey? From youthful excitement to reflective serenity. The emotional journey in the poem is a transition from the excitement of youth to a reflective, peaceful acceptance of life cycles. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more informative content and make sure to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. See you in the next video. Thank you.